My dear friend, if you're watching this video, it's because you couldn't make it physically to the talk last week. On the series of the 7 deadly thoughts, we are really encouraging Christians to live at their best this Lenten season. So if you couldn't make it because you are far away in a different country, or you are physically constrained at home, unable to come, then this video is the best you can get, and we share it with you with much love. But in case you could come, but it was inconvenient to you or it was impractical, then you chose second best. And I invite you to choose best for next week and to share this experience with us face to face at the chapel. Please enjoy the video, and we keep praying for one another. God bless you.
ACEDIA. Let us listen to what ACEDIA is all about in the words of Evagrius.
The demon of ACEDIA, also called the noonday demon, is the one that causes the most serious trouble of all. He presses his attack upon the monk about the 4th hour and besieges the soul until the 8th hour. First of all, he makes it seem that the sun barely moves, if at all, and that the day is 50 hours long. Then, he constrains the monk to look constantly out the windows, to walk outside the cell, to gaze carefully at the sun, to determine how far it stands from the 9th hour or lunchtime, to look this way and now that, to see if perhaps one of the brethren appears from his cell. Then too he instills in the heart of the monk a hatred for the place, a hatred for his very life itself, a hatred for manual labor. He leads him to reflect that charity has departed from among the brethren, that there is no one to give encouragement. Should there be someone at this period who happens to offend him in some way or other, this too the demon uses to contribute further to his hatred. This demon drives him along to desire other sights, where he can more easily procure life's necessities, more readily find work, and make a real success of himself. He goes on to suggest that, after all, it is not the place that is the basis of pleasing the Lord. God is to be adored everywhere. He joins to these reflections the memory of his dear ones and of his former way of life. He depicts life stretching out for a long period of time and brings before the mind's eye the toil of the ascetic struggle, and, as the saying has it, leaves no leaf unturned to induce the monk to forsake his cell and drop out of the fight. No other demon follows close. This one, when he is defeated, but only a state of deep peace and inexpressible joy arise out of this struggle.
It's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful reading of Evagrius. So deep, ACEDIA, okay, very briefly. What is ACEDIA? Is spiritual sadness.
The demon
is a gravitational pull that makes our life, in a way, empty. We feel emptied out with so many things, spiritually, emotionally. That is why, look, this is supposed to be the last of the 7, but I put it first because it's fundamental to understand everything else, especially after pandemic. Okay? Now, it is the most difficult of all demons to fight because it's something that is all over the place. It affects everything in our life. ACEDIA comes from the Greek kedos, which means care, involvement. Kedos, ACEDIA, it's lack of care, lack of involvement. The acidious person is someone who never really, truly, completely, deeply feels involved in anything and with anyone. We will see how. Now, Just the thought of doing things, just the thought of going somewhere, just the thought of visiting this person you're supposed to visit for a month makes you tired. Just the thought of going to church, just the thought of going shopping makes you tired. That's acidia. We will see how it works. The first thing is the acidious person, just to be sure, I invited someone and they texted me, this is a very, like a CEO, quite important person, super busy in life. He said, Father, this is not for me. Acidia is not just about being lazy. That is why sloth is only part of acidia. Acidia is much more. Acidia actually is just the opposite of laziness at times. It is hyperactivity. Acidia is doing things all the time at a super fast pace, and you are hyperactive, you are high performing, and you do a million different things. So you are the last one to be thought to be acidious. You don't think this thought is attacking you. The problem is this with acidia, and you can tell for sure. And this really makes us feel bad. That is why we don't want to think about it. The acidious person does a million things except the ones you're supposed to do right now, right here. The acidious person does a million things, I repeat, except what you're supposed to do right now, right here. Like many priests are like that. They do a million different things except what they're supposed to do today in their parish. They go on pilgrimages, they do talks, they are video celebrities, and they do many other things, good things, except being there when someone is looking for you. And you can be a very accomplished professional, but you're not being a good mother. Sorry, I'm saying this with great respect. Your daughter needed you this day, and no, I can tell you because this is what I experienced with my father. My father was a workaholic. He was all over the place. He did a million good things. He had a great brain. He could invent things. But one time when I was small, I asked him, Father, why are you not around? Why can't we be together? Because he promised me we will go to the cinema, we will go to the zoo, we will go here and there. And then as a child, you expect them to be there. But children don't understand that things come up. I'll tell you this a few times. The acidious person is someone who always has something that comes up. And so I told him, Dad, how come? And he said, I'm doing this for you. And I remember I was a kid. I told my dad, Father, I would like you to do less things for me and to have more of you with me. So it doesn't matter if you do a million things, but when you're supposed to be home, you're not home. With your husband, this is how relationships end. And we get into so much conflict because the discussion goes always the same way. You can't get it. I'm doing this for you. Why are you attacking me for working so hard for the family? Don't you get it? It's not for me. And so this is the discussion. And the other person tells you, I don't want you to be not around. I don't want you to work on weekends. You said we would go out and then they called you and we're together. And while I'm talking to you, you're looking at your phone and the emails. Stop it. I can't take this anymore. This is how relationships end. We do plenty of things except what you're supposed to do right now. This is how priests live priesthood. So, the acidious is a perfect consumer, as I said. They buy everything because he's always running away from something. So I'll give you 8 signs of acidia. How can you know if you're being attacked by acidia? Aside from everything else we said about all the thoughts. First, an exaggerated fear of obstacles and setbacks and confrontations. You're the kind of person who cannot say the truth in your heart to anyone because just before you start even thinking of telling this to someone, your heart palpitates. You cannot say anything to anyone and you feel inside dying and you know that you have to say this thing, but by the time you figure out how to say it, you rehearse the speech a million times. Just the idea of talking to someone makes your blood pressure physically go up. An exaggerated fear of confrontation, of setbacks. The acidious person is a drama queen. God, how can I do? Everything is exaggerated, everything is big, everything, that's why before you even do what you're supposed to do, you're already tired. Because we get so tired thinking, my God, how can I do this? How can I end that? How can I finish this project? How can I go there? So before even you start doing it, you don't do anything because you're already too tired overthinking. The acidious person is the classical overthinker. Second, aversion to all that requires effort. Acedia is the sin of pandemic. Is the thought of pandemic. Anything that requires effort, that is why the sins are connected. Acedia is connected to one of the sisters, which is called avarice. The avaricious person is someone who has to save up on everything, not just money. You have to save up on time. I need to save money. I have to save time. I have to save up on gas. I have to save on this and that. So, this is the mentality. You save up. And basically, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. When and where you're supposed to do it. Example. Everything now is done from the comfort of your home. So, shopping. I was really genuinely surprised. I went to SNR to buy some stuff. And several times, so the first time I said, maybe it's just, second, third time pattern. SNR now has less customers, physical customers pushing carts than Picaroo guys. There is more Picaroo guys at the counter than actual people. And I'm not talking about their Picaroo guys, I'm talking about your Picaroo guys. Oh my God, my sister should hear this. Online shopping. It's good for your legs. Your cardiologist told you have to walk. Walk. No. I want to go next time. Picaroo, please. Online masses have been great, and I've done it for a year. The day they told me they're reopening the churches in Manila, I was in Italy, I stopped. Father, we are helped. Father, please continue saying Mass. And there was this thought telling me, oh, they need you. They need me. They need you. They need you. They don't need me. I can be a means. Go back to church. And what happened? The demon of acedia entered our churches, entered our parishes, entered the common priesthood, and told us that it's the same to go to Mass online or to go physically. It is not. And if someone tells you otherwise, they are lying to you. In good faith, but they're lying to you. Out of ignorance, but they're lying to you. Priest, nun, bishop, whoever tells you that is lying to you. Because if I tell you it's the same thing to kiss the people you love in the mouth and to kiss them to the screen, you'll understand that it's not the same thing. The chemical reaction in your body will be very different. I can assure you that. Online masses, online consults. We don't go anymore to the doctors, which is very practical again. Sorry, Cardinal Santos. My mother told me I'm very happy that this pandemic is over because I cannot take it anymore, that I get the prescriptions on my WhatsApp. My doctor sends me everything on WhatsApp. He checks my blood pressure on WhatsApp. I want to be touched. That's what she told me. I want him to measure my blood pressure. I want him to see my eyes. I want him to talk to me. I need someone to talk to. She's alone. So for emergency cases is good. But you have to be careful because, as I said, a thought looks always very good. And the great weapon, remember this, of acedia is practicality. The greatest demon of acedia is practicality. And I'll tell you something about the youth. For all parents, and I say this with great, great respect, be very careful to take away from your children face-to-face learning and interaction. Because it's true that it's, much more practical. It is true that, some people say they even learn more, but school was done that way because it's meant for our children to grow in an environment in which you get bullied. Either you like it or not, because if you study 4 years at home, you'll go out, and when you start working, people will bully you. And you're not ready for that. School is meant for you to wake up in the morning always at the same time. Either you like it or not, the way your parents have to go to work every day, and you need that to create character. ACEDIA is telling you that you can avoid the effort. You can find shortcuts. It isn't true. Life doesn't have any shortcuts. Spiritual life, all the less. So if you allow a child not to study anymore, this is my take. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm not. I will speak about humility next time, okay? Pride is 2 times from now. They need that. You're taking from them something that is so important. It's never going to go back. Remember, ACEDIA is to do the things you're supposed to do, not allowing you now and here. Not 4 years from now and here. Because the time they've lost, it will never be given to them again. And the times we've lost will never be given to us again. Incapability of resisting temptations. Dislike, where are we? Sorry, I'm lost completely. Indolence to rules. 3rd thing. Someone who is assiduous always finds a way. He is the street smart guy. Always finds a way to do things. I'm not breaking the rules, but I always find my way around things. 4th. Incapacity to resist temptations, which means that the assiduous person is someone who tells me, or I tell them, look, I don't know why, but I just cannot resist temptation. I get angry all the time. I cannot resist. I get angry all the time. I get lustful all the time. I cannot stop it. I am a glutton all the time. I cannot stop eating. I cannot stop sleeping. I don't know. I cannot prevent myself. Why? Cannot resist temptation. Well, ACEDIA works that way. It's a trait of ACEDIA because ACEDIA is not allowing us, again, to do what we're supposed to do. And we say, I pray to God. This is the Catholic line. I pray to God, but maybe God doesn't want to help me because I pray to Him and God is all-powerful, but His sin is still with me. How come it is not letting me go? The reason is very simple, is that God is all-powerful, but He will not do anything without you. So what happens is this, that is why you're here. I'm asking you to do things. Some of you will do, some of you know. You have the one starting the engine. God is not doing that for you. But once the engine gets started, He will help you. He'll push you. He'll push me. But the part you must do is your own part. So, dislike towards people who do things well. An assiduous person is someone who's also envious. You cannot stand someone doing things well. Who do you think you are? Always better than me? They post this stuff and they seem like always happy. I know who you are. You cannot stand that someone does their job well. An assiduous person is someone who cannot just stomach that someone is just doing what they're supposed to do today and in the place where they're supposed to do. So, I see a priest and I look at him, say, look at this priest, my goodness, who do you think you are? Because he's always there. He's in the parish. You go to church, you see him praying. You see that the guy is really giving the money to the poor. Every time someone goes there, he gives money to the poor. And then he's very pious. And he celebrates Mass with devotion. And then he takes care of the community and everyone loves him. And you say, who do you think you are? Padre Pio? My goodness, look at him. He feels so special. Bait mo. Banal mo. Siguro may kasalanan ka, di ba? The assiduous person has to find some fault at someone who is better than them. So I see this priest, and I see I'm very far from him, that I get mad with the poor, that I'm stingy, that I don't pray much, that I don't fast. And that person is a constant accusation before me. They're doing nothing. They are not minding me. They're doing their own life. But I cannot stand them. And tendency to waste time and concentration. Now, this is the heart of ACEDIA. Someone who is attacked by ACEDIA is someone who cannot just concentrate is someone who cannot stay in a place too long. So I'm not sure if anyone really suffers from critical acidia because none of you left yet. No? You cannot stay long in the same place. And acidia is called by Evagrius the Gyrovagus demon. Gyrovagus means the wanderer demon. Is someone who's always wandering about. That is why it says you cannot stay in the same cell for long. You have to go out. You're in the office and then you get bored. Let's see if someone is there and you chat with the guy next to your desk. And then let's have a coffee. So coffee break. From coffee break to coffee break. From coffee break to coffee break. You are doing something, you're writing something very important, and then the phone rings, and you start looking at it. Oh my God, I have to finish this one. This is so important for my job. My God, this is so cute from TikTok. Look at this cat. And you see the cat dancing. And you start, diba, yung cat. And it's so cute that you watch the video of the cat, which sends you to another link, and then after 1 hour, you didn't realize you've been watching 1 hour of TikTok, living what you were supposed to do, which was very important, but you're very happy. And the next day, you go and say, have you seen the cat? Of course! When did you see it? I was on my desk, I was doing something, but not so important, because the cat is so cute. Yeah? That's how the acidius is. The tendency not to concentrate on anything is a life of constant zapping. Now, the formed relationship with time, I want to tell you something. The acidius person is someone who is always running away, always on the run. Always, sorry, I'm busy. Sorry, I cannot do things. Sorry, next time. When someone is too busy, the person who does the will of God can do everything they're supposed to do within this day, and they still have extra time to spare. Someone who's attacked by acidia is always with the water up to their neck. They're always lacking, breathing space because they don't give themselves priority. They do a lot of things which are unnecessary, and the things which are necessary, again, they don't do. So, you have to do a million things at the same time. That is why the acidius person is someone who is suffering from, please listen very carefully, the acidius person has to be everywhere. You cannot do that. Oh, sorry, I want to do that. I want to watch TV. I want to watch the video. I want to go out. I want to have a vacation. I want to get a promotion. I want to buy this dress. I want to be a priest, but I want to be married. I love children, but what do you want to do? FOMO. FOMO is the essence of the acidius person. There is this anxiety, what if I'm not there? Like, I'm on the talk right now, but what about, like this? And it works this way. The FOMO is the one who has this thing that will remind you that you're missing on something. The other persons, you're listening to me, but your friends at the office are watching the TikTok video of the cat. They're enjoying. Fear of missing out. That is why, look, you have to help yourself. If you come to church, if you come to Mass, and most of us do that, including me, and you are with your phone, which is on, and you follow the readings here, I'm telling you, you won't be able to concentrate because your eyes, your mind are on this thing that is taking 95% of our energy, mental, physical, emotional. And because I'm used to this, I'm not used to that anymore. That is why I'm telling you online Mass doesn't work. You have to be here and just listen to the readings and look at the altar and eat the bread of life. Because what happens is the FOMO, the acidius, is someone who's here and you really intend to be here. You're not pretending. You want to be here sincerely, but you sit down and then you got a notification, and psychology tells you that you cannot resist more than 20 seconds before you check out on this, because this must be something important. It is not. So, if you come to church and you have your phone, your smart watch on, and you're listening to me talk, and then you check every 30 seconds a notification, you feel yourself to be a multitasker. You can follow me and you follow this. The acidius person is someone who lives life as if in a drone. You follow everything, you see everything, you talk to everyone, you keep relationships with everyone. You're on a drone. You never land on anything specifically. Everything is up here. Nothing is really... I don't know when you had a real serious conversation with someone and you didn't look at your watch. It is terrible. We've lost this. It is terrible that even parents with children with parents cannot be at table without the phone, and I cannot look into your eye more than 3 minutes before you check your phone. How more important is what I'm telling you, you check in here, than what I'm telling you? But this is who we are. So FOMO is really a description of the acidias. And omission is really, again, what ACEDIA is all about. Finally, and I'll conclude, the remedies, how do you fight ACEDIA? Because, we saw what it is, but how do you fight against it? The first thing, as I said, for those who came in late, prayer. So morning and evening, starting tonight. So this morning, I don't know if you did. You went to Mass, most of you. Evening, please read the Gospel of the day. Only that. Don't do more. Don't do more. The assiduous person wants to do lots of things. Just do this. But I will read also the comment. I will watch the podcast. I will hear Bishop Barron. Okay, do it some other time. Just do this first. Okay? Now, the remedies. First of all, declare an all-out war to this thought. ACEDIA, as I said, thrives on compromise. Thrives on telling you it's okay. It is not. It's an all-out war, which means todong todo. Hindi po pwede kalahati dito, kalahati sa kabila, na mamangka ka sa dalawang ilog. Diba? Naintindihan nyo naman, no? Na, halimbawa, I'm a priest, I give up my life, I give up my love life, but I still keep in touch with my girlfriend of old. Father, come on. My God, you're so serious naman. Dito sa Pilipinas, hindi ganun kaseryoso yung mga pare. Huwag kang ganun. If I keep a door of my heart open with a woman I love the most in my life, but we're very good friends and everything, if I chat with her the way I chat with you every day, I'm being foolish. So either you realize and you're serious that that is why it's called the spiritual art of war. Because if you keep flirting with someone, it's just going one direction, none other. So if you're married and you're chatting with someone you were with just friends, you don't know yourself at all. You don't know human heart at all. I'm sorry to tell you that. Okay? Now, it's an all-out war. Remember, as I said, what has to be done, it has to be done now. So, secondly, the attack has to be frontal. Frontally attack this particular sin. You cannot wait for it. You cannot wait for it to be gone. ACEDIA, says Evagrius, is the most difficult of all demons to conquer because it's everywhere, but it's also like a big papier-mâché enemy. It looks huge, it looks scary, it looks unbeatable, but the moment you do this, it's gone. And you find great peace and things start to work out just perfect. Your life gets better, your day gets better, you find peace, you're able to do everything at home, at work, with friends, with your parents, everything gets into order. But the first thing we need to do is to give it a kick. You have to start with that. So, attack frontally this demon. How do you do that? He says through patience. This is the third remedy. It's called hypomone. Patience is necessary because patience gives you the possibility of waiting for what is coming and being there. You have to hold your ground. Hold your ground. So, you sinned, you listen to this talk, you have a good intention to follow these 40 days, and then tomorrow you sin and you give up. Go to confession, hold your ground, don't go anywhere, just stay here. Just come back here. Stay here, don't move. You got a blow, it's alright. Start again. Hold your ground. Because, this is the passage in which you conquer ACEDIA and conquer many other thoughts. There is that moment in which you want to do this thing and it comes to your head and you give up. and you give up, and you give up. I want to visit my parents. I haven't been there for such a long time. You're about to go there, and then the thought comes to you, I have to clean the house. And then you start cleaning the house, and then you get sweaty. Oh, I have to take a shower. Oh my God, it's so late. I have to cook. Hold your ground. Don't move. Stay where you are. Don't listen to it. And it's gonna go. Thirdly, very important, is this patience to stay, it's stabilitas. Stabilitas is to be anchored in the place where you're supposed to be. Stabilitas. Okay, now, stabilitas means to be in a physical place. That is why it's important a place of worship. If you change church every Sunday, it seems interesting because you hear different stories, different sermons, but it's not helping you spiritually. That is why, though sometimes it's boring, sometimes it's tiring, we have to go to the same place at the same possible time. Don't change. Stabilitas is what fights acidia. And if you do it one time, and then you do it the second time, slowly it starts giving fruits. The fourth remedy after stabilitas is where we... What's next? I've lost my notes. Yeah. Prayer. Then trust in Him and not in ourselves. So stabilitas means that you stop trusting in yourself. I cannot do this on my own. I tried many times. Help me, Lord. And you start praying seriously. It's like when there is an earthquake, you don't tell yourself, I can stand alone. You need something solid. And this is the Lord. You stand on Him. Fifth is watchfulness. Watchfulness is also something very important. Watchfulness means that another thing you have to do during this time is to be sober. Sobriety is necessary for acidia, which means to be watchful, you cannot be drunk. That's why guards cannot drink on their duty. Because if you drink too much, you eat too much, you sleep too much, you watch too much TV, you get soft. And you cannot be watchful. So something that has to be done today, starting today, you have to choose something that you really, really enjoy doing. A real sacrifice. Something that will cost you a bit of an effort, because acidia doesn't want you to exert any effort. And start doing it today. From today. Then the memoria mortis is another very important way of fighting against acidia. Memoria mortis is something that feels a bit morbid, is remembering that we will die. It's very important. So please tell the person next to you, even if you don't know them, remember that you will die. No, you say it with a smile, but actually, sige, ganito na lang. At my 3, I count to 3, you look at each other with a smile, and tell each other, mamamatay ka. Okay? 1, 2, 3. And now, at my 3, please respond. The other person, you respond. At my 3, ikaw muna. 1, 2, 3. Is to remember that and this is something I'm realizing only now for real. It doesn't matter if you're young, old, fit, not fit. We have a time. And one thing that I really every day I face, and it's helping me, hopefully, is to see how many people go with regrets. Mama, you get well. We will go to this place I promised you. There is no more time. Mama, sige na po. Kaya nyo. Malakas kayo. Sige. Punta tayo sa restaurant na yun. Matagal na na-promise ako sa'yo. Wala na. So there are things that you can do only today. So if you've been postponing visiting someone, talking to someone, apologizing to someone, visiting your parents, bringing your children out of town, do it now. It is a very strong weapon against sloth, acidia. To do what you're supposed to do now, not tomorrow. Remember, acidia always says something came up. There is always something extra. That's the language of acidia. And finally, exagoresis, which means what I said before, ex-agoresis, it's from agora, which is place, square, and ex, to expectorate, to let out, to let things in the open. Talk to someone. It's fundamental as a weapon against acidia, which means I feel this way, I go to my confessor and I make a list of all the things in which I waste time, I waste opportunity, and then I read it out loud. It's very painful, it's very humiliating, but it will help you plenty. And the second thing is exagoresis, to do spiritual direction. You cannot do a confession, you cannot do it every week with a different one. Kasi nakakahiya naman eh. Do it with the same person, because if you go to a different doctor every week, we change doctors, we don't change habits. You go to the same doctor, they will help you because they know your history. The same thing with the doctor of the soul. You go to the same person, don't be ashamed. They will help you because they know where you started from and they can follow you. They can tell you what is good. But you need to find someone you can talk to about your spirit, even things you don't understand. I don't understand anything. Okay, let's start from zero. And finally, manual labor. It seems very obvious, but another thing that pandemic really rolled on for many people is laziness, physical laziness, inactivity. Not walking anymore, playing on your phone all the time, watching too much TV, eating too much. You need to do something with your body. Go to Caritas, go and visit the poor, start making puzzles, whatever you want, but you need to have something done physically. It's a great remedy. Cook for someone, do something. Okay? So basically these are the remedies against acidia. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with you. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen.